Imagine leaving your home for a quick trip, and when you come back, every single person you know is completely gone. Not a body, not a clue, just one strange word carved into a tree. CROATOAN. This isn't a movie script. This happened in real life, and to this day, nobody knows the truth. Our story begins way back in 1587, when more than 100 English settlers arrived on Roanoke Island, off the coast of modern-day North Carolina. They were full of hope, ready to build a new life in the New World. They built homes, they planted crops, they started families. It should have been the beginning of America's first permanent English settlement, but instead, it became one of history's greatest and most chilling mysteries. Not long after the colony was established, their supplies began to run dangerously low. So their leader, a man named John White, decided to sail back to England to get help and more resources. He left behind his daughter, his newborn granddaughter Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the Americas and the entire colony. He promised he'd return as quickly as possible, but fate had other plans. A massive war broke out between England and Spain, and the Queen of England needed every available ship for the fight. John White was stuck, delayed for 3 long, agonizing years. When he finally sailed back to Roanoke in the summer of 1590, he expected to be greeted with cheers, waving hands, and the familiar faces of his friends and family. Instead, he found the colony completely empty. The homes had been carefully dismantled, not destroyed. All the tools and equipment were gone. There were no signs of a fight, no graves, no bodies, nothing. It was as if the entire colony had simply stood up and walked away into thin air. The only clue left behind was that single, cryptic word carved into a wooden post, CROATOAN. So what happened? Let's dive into the theories. Theory number 1 is the most obvious. They moved to CROATOAN Island. The word carved into the post could have been a message, a sign of where they went. CROATOAN was the name of a nearby island, now called Hatteras Island, and also the name of a friendly Native American tribe that lived there. Some historians believe the colonists, facing starvation, left willingly to live with the CROATOAN people. It's a logical theory, but when later explorers searched the island, they found no definitive physical evidence of the colonists ever being there. Theory number 2, a hostile tribe attacked. It's possible another tribe, perhaps one less friendly than the CROATOANs, attacked and either killed the settlers or took them captive. But this theory doesn't quite fit the evidence. The settlement site showed no signs of violence. Nothing was burned, nothing was broken, and there were no human remains found. It wasn't the scene of a battle. Theory number 3, they tried to sail back to England. Some people speculate that the desperate colonists, tired of waiting for John White, may have built small boats and attempted the treacherous journey back across the Atlantic on their own. If they did, it's almost certain they would have been lost at sea in a storm. This would explain the lack of bodies, but it seems like a very risky, last-ditch effort. Theory number 4 is a deadly famine. Bad crops, devastating storms, and starvation could have forced them to abandon the settlement in search of food. They might have split into smaller groups and wandered into the mainland, eventually succumbing to the harsh wilderness. But still, you'd expect some remains or artifacts to be found eventually. Why has nothing ever turned up? And that leads us to theory number 5, something stranger. For centuries, the mystery has fueled all kinds of speculation. Paranormal theories, local curses, even alien abduction have been suggested. Of course, none of these are proven, but they show just how deeply this disappearance has captured our imagination. When the logical answers don't add up, people start looking for supernatural ones. More than 430 years later, the fate of the Roanoke colony remains unsolved. No bodies, no definitive proof, no answers. Just that one haunting word, CROATOAN. It's a chilling reminder that sometimes history doesn't give us all the answers. What do you think really happened to them? Let me know your theories down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more historical mysteries.